Here is Honey Fun, and I'm doing something a little bit different with Honey in this ride. Actually, I've ridden her the last couple of times in a hackamore, and that's a very interesting thing on a right off the track thoroughbred. And I would say that I'm probably not trying this with most horses because, I'm just riding in your most plain, basic English hackamore that you can possibly find or buy. And it's not much different than just riding around in a halter and lead rope. So, for horses that are wiggly and steering is not concrete, it certainly is not very effective. But actually, with Honey, the reason that I'm riding her in a hackamore right now is because I have been finding that, if anything, she is wanting to be too round. And I have been thinking that her pole is a little too low and she just feels a little too on the bridle. Honestly, I want her head up. I want the pole to be the highest point. I want her nose poked out, and I just want her off the bridle a little bit. So I had no idea if this would be effective. It could have just been a total disaster. But I was just curious, so I decided to give it a go. And I thought right away from the first ride, I thought the first ride she was a little confused. She was just kind of like, we're missing a piece. But she was good. She did all the things, and I thought she ended fantastically. And then yesterday, she just came out like, oh, I got this. This is great. And she was so good yesterday that I thought, oh, we definitely have to get a video of this because, I'm sure everybody has their own versions on what they consider to be excellent. But I think for Honey, actually, she wants to be so round, too round sometimes, in my opinion. I love her frame. She's still soft in her body, using herself well, but I love her with her pole up and her nose poked out a little bit. And she's so comfortable and happy doing that in a hackamore. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I saying that this horse should go in a hackamore, permanently forever. I just think it's a cool thing that she can go in a hackamore and go so nicely in it. And it's just like a cool little tool to use as a stepping stone, between point A and point B for her and starting to understand, that you can be soft without being too soft. And, you can be round without being head too low and all those good things. So for her, it's just kind of a cool training tool, and she's just going so nicely in it. I thought she just felt so relaxed and easygoing, happy to do the job. And her steering in the hackamore is so impressive because it is difficult to steer in the hackamore on a green horse. And she was just fabulous. If anything, I thought she was better steering in the hackamore, and that's probably because she's more, she's less on the bridle, so she's more from my leg and my seat, and so yeah, she was just fabulous. She felt just lovely. And when I watched the video back, I thought she looked lovely as well, just so relaxed. And I really love her shape. There's only actually one other sort of green right off the track horse I've ever been very successful riding in a hackamore. That was also a mare, actually. It was a mare I had last summer. And someone was coming to see her. They showed up with the truck and trailer. And I pulled her out, and I hadn't been riding her in a hackamore. I had been riding her in a loose ring Hermspringer duo, which had pinched her cheeks, and I didn't realize it until I put the bridle on while the shopper was there, and the mare was so upset. She was flinging her head all over the place, which she normally doesn't do. So this, of course, caused me to take the bridle off and investigate, and sure enough, I could see that the loose ring had pinched her. And so it was sort of a conundrum because here's this shopper who had driven like 5 hours with the truck and trailer. They want to put the horse on the trailer and go home. I'm like, shoot, what am I going to do? So I said, well, I guess I'm going to put the hackamore on her because that's the only way we're going to be able to comfortably ride her. And she hadn't been ridden in the hackamore. And so, of course, I'm going to get on first to test this out and make sure it's all okay. And it was. She was wonderful. She was just like Honey. She just went around cute and perfect. And so, of course, they bought her and they took her home. And she's worked out great for them. But that's the only other green right off the track thoroughbred that I've ever had a successful venture riding in a hackamore. So I guess the girls win in this adventure with the hackamore. They're just so smart. So here we're just sort of checking, making sure we can do some transitions. So trot, walk, halt, and so on before we do our canter work. She actually did a really nice square halt there and very patient in it also. So her canter work is coming along so nicely. She actually finds the right canter a little bit more natural than the left, which is fine. They all tend to have one lead that they prefer naturally over the other. And the left is getting a lot stronger, but I do like to, once I know which lead for sure they find easier, I tend to let them do that one first. I didn't love our first canter transition. It just wasn't quite balanced. So actually we did some really nice canter work here, and then I went back and did another one, and I have that one on video. That one was very good. Honey has just a beautiful canter, and it's just lovely to sit on. It's very balanced and relaxed, and it's why Billy loves her so much. He just loves her canter. And I love her frame here. She's plenty round and soft, but I just like that the poll is up and the nose is just ticked out just a little bit. She has a really nice, easygoing expression on her face. She's listening and she's curious and relaxed and all those good things. And steering so well, doing all her circles and changes of directions, being so good. I'm honestly just really, I'm sort of amazed by her. This is just not that easy of a thing for these green horses to do as nicely and seamlessly as she's doing this. So here we're just showing off basically. So that was a much just more balanced canter depart than the first one we did. She didn't do anything wrong. I just thought we could do better. So we took a little walk break and then just repeated the same thing to the left. When she first came, she really wanted to fall out that right shoulder. When we were tracking left, she wanted to fall out the outside shoulder in that corner, which is very standard. I mean, of course, that's where they all want to fall out the outside shoulder when they're in that short side going by the gate, which is closest to the barn and all that good stuff. But that is really dissipated in the last week or so, and that would really come out to call you in a hackamore if the horse was not truly sort of understanding steering and being between the legs and all that stuff. But she certainly has proved that she has moved on from that little green horse habit. She's being really good about staying straight through her shoulders and not leaning out any of her outside shoulders. So yeah, I really couldn't be happier with Honey. I'm just so tickled by her, honestly. She's being so impressive. Here she is on the ground. I think I have lots of video of her on the ground, but she is lovely on the ground. She's just very sweet and easygoing and all the things you would want.